Hey, let's get into our weekly loop around the league where we take a look at all these other NFL teams, mostly last week's games and the scores, anything that came out of them of note. One thing before we get started, I wanted to mention the Rams jumped 11 spots in the CBS Power Poll from 31 to 20. I'll have my Power Poll out tomorrow, my top 10 anyways. Rams haven't cracked my top 10, but hey, maybe with a win somehow against the 49ers, we can bump them up to maybe just outside the top 10. We'll have to see. Not expecting that to happen, really, but hey, we can hope. So let's take a look at these games. Lions 21, Chiefs 20. And what this suggests to me is maybe Travis Kelce is the MVP. This Chiefs offense looked completely different. And I had been going on and on a couple weeks ago about how the Chiefs seemed to have a revolving door at the skill positions, didn't seem to matter. It mattered in this game. So was it the skill position guys or the fact that Kelce wasn't out there? Or was it the Lions defense? They looked pretty good, very much improved. Bringing over the safety from the Eagles was a big addition. And Jared Goff, good for him. I think Ram fans are mostly happy about that. And how you all know how I feel about Jared Goff. I don't think he's a great quarterback, but I don't think he's bad either. He's okay. He's good enough. And maybe we've put this Jared Goof commentary behind us once and for all. This guy is so maligned, and I pull for him. I like him, and hope he does well moving forward. Falcons 24, Panthers 10. Bryce Young, it's going to take a while for him to get going. Atlanta seems to be a team. Their team people are going to start liking more and more. They have some things go in their favor, mostly the running attack, Tyler Algier and Bijan Robinson combining for 131 yards. But Desmond Ridder, I was a booster of him, as was my special assistant, but they're not even letting him throw the ball. He only had 3 incompletions, but barely threw it. We got Kyle Pitts and Drake London there, 2 really skilled guys. They're not really part of the offense at this point. And if Atlanta's going to really do damage, they're going to have to improve the passing game. They could very easily. Right now, they're probably the favorite in that division, in my opinion. Tampa Bay may surprise us after all. We'll see. The Ravens 25, the Texans 9. It took longer than we expected, but the Ravens scored 15 unanswered points in the third quarter. Texans defense is going to keep them in some games, but they are what they are. They're not going to win a lot of games this year, unfortunately. The Ravens, however, do lose J.K. Dobbins. They're one of the best teams in the league. I have them in the top end of my top 10, as you'll see tomorrow. But losing Dobbins is going to hurt. Browns 24, Bengals 3. And this is a game I picked the Bengals, and then my special assistant talked me out of it, and we went with the Browns based on what happened last year. And man, he was spot on. This Browns defense is legit. And Deshaun Watson starting to find his footing. They're definitely one team I underestimated, but we'll see if they can sustain that. And what does this mean for the Bengals? They're in a tough spot. They got off to a slow start last year, though, and I'm not counting them out, but they're definitely they have some issues. They're losing a divisional game like that really hurts. We'll see if they can bounce back. The Bucks 20, the Vikings 17. I thought the Vikings were just going to hammer away at the Bucks in this game. I felt really good about where the Vikings offense was with Justin Jefferson, and then they bring on Brian Flores to run that defense, and they can't get it done against Baker Mayfield and the Bucks. Probably, in my opinion, this was to me the most surprising result of the day. Most people would probably say the Ram result was the most surprising. I wasn't surprised by that so much, but this one really did surprise me. What else? The Saints 16, the Titans 15. Yeah, I didn't see any of this. It sounds like an ugly game, and it probably was. Ryan Tannehill throwing 3 interceptions, Derek Carr 305 yards and a TD, and Saints are probably going to compete with the Falcons there for that. I mentioned the Falcons being the favorite in that division, and maybe the Bucks giving them a run. Maybe it'll be the Saints, though. In retrospect, I'd probably say the Saints are the favorite to win that. Atlanta will probably pressure them, but whoever's going to win this division, it's going to be like a 9-8 record, and 1-out in the playoffs would be my prediction at this point. And how about the 49ers? 30-7 over the Steelers. They were just firing on all cylinders. And I'm not going to give anything away from my upcoming power rankings, but they might be the best team in the league right now. Across the board, impressive, really impressive. Kenny Pickett looked really flustered all game long. Now, I don't know how much we should ding the Steelers and how good, on the flip side, how good are the 49ers really? That's why week 1 is so tough to really come to conclusions. But we can say the 49ers look really, really good, and the Steelers looked like they weren't quite ready. So we'll have to see what week 2 brings for both teams. Commanders 20, Cardinals 16. The Cardinals' only touchdown was off of a Sam Howell fumble deep in his own end. Commanders D is really good, and who knows what the Cardinals are going to do on offense this year. I'm struggling to understand how they're going to compete, especially against, a good offensive team is going to put a bunch of points up on them. They won't be able to answer, and a good defensive team like the Commanders is just going to shut them down. So the Cardinals are up against it. The Packers 38, the Bears 20. Oh, my, the poor Bears. They survived the Brett Favre years, the Aaron Rodgers years, and now here comes Jordan Love. This is the Bears' time for revenge, right? Justin Fields, he's matured. He'll be ready to take that next step. Didn't happen, not so fast. Packers hammer them, and man, bad time to be a Bears fan. Jordan Love, 15 for 27, 245 yards, but the 3 TDs, that's what was really eye-opening. Not jumping on the Packer bandwagon yet, like some other folks. They're going to be better than we expected, though. They're going to be okay. Probably going to be a 3-team race if the Vikings can get their act together. I don't think the Bears are going to be relevant once again, the poor Bears. The Raiders 17, the Broncos 16. Sean Payton opened up the game with an onside kick. Kind of backfired. Raiders got a TD off of that drive. Russell Wilson, 34 attempts, but just 177 yards to show for it. I love Sean Payton. I don't love their quarterback. I don't think either of these teams are going anywhere. The game of the day, the Dolphins 36, the Chargers 34. Brandon Staley and his defensive credentials taking another hit. But then again, this is the Dolphins. What a dynamic, electric offense. Tyreek Hill. Someone mentioned on another podcast, or maybe it was on Twitter, I don't know where I saw it, that, it's common to see wide receivers running free in college football all day long. You don't see that in the NFL unless it's a receiver by the name of Tyreek Hill. He had his way, 215 yards receiving to 466 yards passing. But on the flip side, the Chargers ran all day long against this Dolphin defense. So they are not a perfect team at this point. They need to patch that up. But this Dolphin offense, and keep in mind, Devin Achane was inactive. He's a rookie. He is super dynamic. He is going to just add even more to this offense, assuming they get him involved. He is a rookie. We'll have to see. But got a lot to like about the Dolphins, and the Chargers, not giving up on them yet. They're a good team. They bad timing for the Chargers defense, I think, to go up against this Dolphin offense. But they have some work to do. What else do we got? We have the Eagles 25, the Patriots 20. I thought the Patriots would pretty much dominate, but hey, you give Bill Belichick a few months to prepare. This is what happens. He makes games interesting. And Jalen Carter, of the Eagles. From what I hear, it's maybe pretty evident at this point he should have been the number one pick overall. He is the real deal. The Cowboys 40, the Giants 0. The Giants coming off a playoff year, high hopes, and they knew the Cowboys were going to be a handful, especially defensively. But man, what a dud. You wait months for the NFL to return. You get the home game against a divisional opponent, and wow. But this Cowboy D is legit, so take that into account. Maybe don't give up on the Giants yet, but I didn't have high hopes for the Giants this year, to be honest with you, and this game kind of bared that out. And finally, the Jets 22, the Bills 16. A lot to unpack here. Aaron Rodgers takes the field, a lot of hoopla, high expectations. Jets Nation is pumped. And then on the fourth snap, he's out for the year, and they go back to Zach Wilson. And, I kind of feel bad for Zach Wilson. I'm pulling for him. I'm rooting for him. I don't know if he's going to be able to get this team to the playoffs. Maybe the Jets make a move. But it's all about the Jets defense at this point, and Josh Allen kind of giving the game away, in my opinion. I think the Bills, I'm watching the end of this game, and I think they really have it under control. Just don't do anything stupid, but they did. And they did a second thing that was kind of stupid, in my opinion, and my special assistant Matt pointed this out. Overtime coin toss. You win the toss, kick off. Let Zach Wilson and his running backs try to move down the field on you. You shut them down, which in all likelihood they would have. You get the ball back. Josh Allen, a chance at redemption, drive down and kick the field goal, win the game, but didn't happen. So is that the end of the Jets season? I don't know. We'll have to see. The Bills take a hit, though. They'll be okay. Josh Allen, he's such an up-and-down quarterback, so talented, but he has a knack for kind of bonehead plays like this. Hey, man, he got hit hard, fumbled. Happens to everybody, but 3 interceptions as well on opening day. And you could see it in his eyes, kind of let his team down, and I think he realized it. But both these teams take a hit. The Jets, if they had Aaron Rodgers and they had won this game, they might have bumped up into my top 10, but I'm just not seeing it. I'll be pulling for Zach Wilson, but I don't have high hopes for the Jets offense at this point. And I don't think a great defense is going to be enough to get them through this gauntlet of AFC teams. So many good teams. We'll have to see. Maybe the Jets make a move. Maybe they make a trade. Heard that they had tried to trade for Matthew Stafford, but I don't think the Rams are going to be interested at this point unless it was a trade, an offer they couldn't refuse, but probably not going to happen. I certainly hope not. I love Matthew Stafford, and I think he gives the Rams a chance. So sorry, Jets, no Matthew Stafford for you. That's my loop around the league. Week 1 of the NFL in the books. You see the Rams 30, Seahawks 13 down there on the bottom right. I've talked about that enough. I think 3 different videos and a couple of podcasts. So I'll leave that one alone for now. Out here from Rams Up. Thanks.